I would just like to thank everyone today and welcome you to the beautiful Sundial. Even with the weather as it is, this place still looks amazing, doesn't it? To just tell you a little bit about us and the history behind Ruth's Chris. A single mother mortgaged her house in 1965, going on an adventure to start a new business to provide for her two sons. She bought a 60-seat restaurant, Chris's Steakhouse, and by 1985, this small, humble steakhouse has grown to the global phenomenon that it is today. Ruth's Chris will be celebrating its 50th year anniversary this year, and this Ruth's Chris in St. Petersburg marks our 144th location internationally. Some of us are here today, including our chef, Jay-Z, had the wonderful privilege of actually working with Ruth herself. We are proud of our New Orleans heritage, but are truly excited about our unique setting here in St. Pete, with a larger bar area, more outdoor patio dining, and state-of-the-art private dining rooms to accommodate this wonderful, beautiful town. Now I'm honored to introduce our very special guest joining us today. Our first guest of honor, some of you all may know very well. He is a recent recipient of the All Children's Hospital in St. Petersburg highest award, the William Belcher Award. In 2012, he was honored with the Gandhi King Akita Community Bridge Builder Award, an award previously received by Nelson Mandela, Mikhail Gorbachev, and Archbishop Desmond Tutu for his philanthropic work for children and veterans. In 2013, he was inducted into the Tampa Bay Business Hall of Fame for his business expertise and forward-thinking leadership. He is a businessman, financier, real estate developer, record company executive, entertainment promoter, philanthropist, and most recently became a professional sports owner with his purchasing of the controlling interest of the Tampa Bay Rowdies. He has sponsored numerous community events, including the annual Taste of Pinellas and First Night of St. Petersburg. And he is the owner and the visionary behind the Sundial. Please help me welcome Mr. Bill Edwards.
I can't tell you how happy I am to be here today. This is the culmination of about 4 or 5 years of work, and one of the big things on my list, I had a list of at least 3 things I had to have. One was men's clothing, one was a great Epicurean market, but the biggest thing I wanted was a great steakhouse. And I couldn't have done better to get Ruth Chris Steakhouse into the city. And I'm so very proud to have everybody here. I sat here Saturday night, had dinner. It was awesome. Come often, enjoy the food. It's excellent, and I couldn't be prouder and more honored than have Ruth Chris as part of our family. Thank you so much.
I normally like to try and bring the sunshine here today, but we do know that it is shining even behind these clouds on this occasion. And you know, when Bill and Rick told me and talked to me about some of the things they were trying to bring here, and they said they were bringing a steak restaurant, and then they said Ruth's Chris, I was really excited because I've been to a lot of steak restaurants around the country, and even in the Tampa Bay area, and there's some good steaks out there. But then there's Ruth's Chris. And the steaks that you get here and the quality of the food and the customer service that you get here are just at a level way above anything else that's out in the market. So to have it here in the Sundial in St. Petersburg is truly, I believe, really special for us. And I thank you, Bill and Rick, and everyone associated with Ruth's Chris for being here in St. Petersburg and being such a great addition to this community. And now I'd like to read a proclamation of the city of St. Petersburg. Whereas today marks the grand opening steak cutting for Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in St. Petersburg, Florida. And whereas the city of St. Petersburg congratulates Ruth's Chris and its team members on the grand opening of its 144th location and the company's 50th anniversary. And whereas 50 years ago in one of America's most culturally rich cities, New Orleans, a single working mother, Ruth Fertel, mortgaged her home to buy a neighborhood restaurant called Chris's Steakhouse. Ruth had a dream to be a successful business owner. She was driven, smart, and eventually led the company to worldwide status. Ruth worked and lived by the mantra, do what you love what you do. Whereas Ruth Fertel had the reputation of being a driven, hardworking person that never met a challenge not worth overcoming. Ruth was successful because of her strong work ethic and an ability to understand her guests. And whereas today, at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, all team members continue to serve each guest the way Ruth Fertel always did, with superior quality food, the most hospitable service, and a genuine affection for everyone who truly enjoys the experience of dining with other people, and clearly I do. Now, therefore, I, Rick Kreisman, Mayor of the City of St. Petersburg, do hereby proclaim February 9th, 2015 as Ruth's Chris Steakhouse Day in St. Petersburg.
Good afternoon, everybody. You know, I brought my own sunshine, Mayor, just in case Mr. Sun is here. But, you know, first of all, thank you for coming out and celebrating what we think is just another wonderful opportunity in our community. We at the Chamber are getting to do about a ribbon cutting a week of people coming into our community. And what you see in each one of these, although this is a steak cutting, what you see in every one of them is something that I want to draw your attention to is there's people over here on the left that are serving. There are people that are, what happens when you cut a ribbon is you create jobs. And when you create jobs, the economy continues to grow. So this is about us being able to get the best steak in town and enjoying it with our family and friends in the most wonderful and glorious community called the Sundial here. But it also is about just how does a community take care of each other? And it's about making sure that everybody has an opportunity to grow. Everybody has a job. Everybody has an opportunity to grow in it. And when you get with the Ruth Chris family, you see that it is a family, and these folks continue to move on in their careers and take more experience and get more opportunities to grow. So I can't think of a better partner in St. Pete than Ruth Chris to help us continuing to grow and invest in the infrastructure it takes to build a wonderful community, but employ the people that are our neighbors, our friends, those folks we go to church with and go to school with. That's what we have today, and it's a great celebration for everybody. I'm glad to be here. I appreciate Mr. Edwards for his investment and his vision for what St. Pete can be. I applaud you all for coming out and just supporting everything. If you were down here on Saturday of this weekend, everywhere you looked in St. Pete, there was a buzz. You are in St. Pete at the right time, and it's only going to get better, and it starts today when we cut this steak. So thank you very much.
Last but not least, I'm excited to present our next guest. He is a team member for our grand opening charity partner with Southeastern Guide Dogs. He and his most recent guide dog, Brittany, have been frequent guests in high-profile circles in Washington and around the country. A third-generation Marine, he is the recipient of both the Purple Heart and the Combat Action Ribbon. While proudly serving his country in Iraq, his Humvee was struck by a roadside bomb. He miraculously survived, but suffered multiple injuries, including losing both eyes. Today, he will share some highlights of his journey and his new beginnings, his wonderful and remarkable and faithful relationship with the Southeastern Guide Dogs. Let me give a warm welcome to retired Marine Corporal Michael Jernigan. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. I want to start by saying I'm from St. Petersburg. I was born at St. Anthony's Hospital. I graduated up the road at St. Petersburg High School 50 years after my grandfather did. And I graduated at the Mahaffey Theater from the University of South Florida, St. Petersburg. I remember when we did not come downtown after dark. I think some of you that have been here for a while remember those times. And now, we got a Ruth's Chris. It's a wonderful time to be in St. Petersburg. I'll tell you a little story about myself. Not only am I from here, but I am a third-generation Marine. It was the first job I ever had I could be proud of. And I like to share this story when I start to talk about Southeastern Guide Dogs and the impact that it's made on my life. I was in a little city called Fallujah back in April of 2004. And this is before Fallujah became the famous city it is. But we were leaving our base. We had a forward operating base right on the Euphrates River. And outside our back wire was a road, dirt road, that ran parallel with the Euphrates River. About a kilometer from that road, there was a perpendicular dirt road. As we were moving my platoon across that intersection, a young man stepped out and started firing at us. It's not a smart thing to do, to shoot at a bunch of heavily armed Marines, but You know, some stuff doesn't make sense these days. We pushed a squad, myself included, up that road, about 800, maybe 1,000 meters, and all hell broke loose. We had walked into a textbook L-shaped ambush, and for anybody that might have ever been in that situation, it is what we call a significant emotional event, right? I jumped into a ditch. It was only about 8 inches deep. I had 3 large rockets on my back, and I was praying to God that nobody shot them and they exploded, right? I have never felt more isolated in my life at that point. And I still today don't think I've ever been more scared in my life. You flash forward a few months, and I woke up in a hospital bed in Bethesda, Maryland. I couldn't see anything. It was all black. I had my hand in a big foam wedge because that had been fully reconstructed. My knee was all wrapped up because that had been reconstructed. I couldn't even get out of the rack to use the bathroom. And those feelings of isolation and fear started flooding back on me again. I was isolated because I couldn't see. I couldn't see what was going on around me. And I was scared because I had no idea what my life held in store. I had no idea what my capability was as a person. It was a couple of months after I got wounded, my mother received a phone call from Bobby Newman, one of our board members at Southeastern Guide Dogs. And he told us, you know, Southeastern Guide Dogs is in Palmetto, and we're here for your son if and when he is ready for a guide dog. And that kind of started an open line of communication. I wound up co-founding a veterans program at Southeastern Guide Dogs with Bobby Newman on January of 2006, after I got out of the Marine Corps, called Paws for Patriots. I received my guide dog, Brittany, and she revolutionized my life. I was no longer isolated. I was no longer scared. I had Brittany by my side. Just like when I was in the Marine Corps, you have a Marine to the right of you and a Marine to the left of you that fight with you. When I left my door every day, I had just this little fuzzy angel that didn't have to fight with me, just helped me get along. It was difficult at first for me, trying to adjust. Brittany was a benefit. I quickly learned that Brittany became a guide second and a companion first. Her being there was not only soothing and calming, but at times she knew when I was getting stressed before I knew. She would stop me and make me play with her. And it was like releasing tension from a spring. What we do at Southeastern Guide Dogs is we give those individuals that come to us freedom. We give them independence. We give them that knowledge that they can do anything they want in their life, that you are not limited, that you are extremely capable. You just need assistance. That's all it is. What we do at Southeastern Guide Dogs is give young men and women like myself renewed hope, a reason to leave the house, a reason to reintegrate into our community, a reason to get back and keep moving. I went back to college after I was wounded. I went to college before I joined the Marine Corps, but I had 4.5 freshman years at St. Petersburg Junior College. So there was a reason I had to go to the Corps. I got out and went back, and it was amazing. I was a much more disciplined student after the Marine Corps. But you know, when I was at USF, nobody knew my name. I was the blind guy with Brittany. You know, this is something that I have no problem with. Southeastern Guide Dogs is here in our community, just like Ruth Chris is in our community. We are growing, we're moving forward, and we really appreciate the support of Ruth Chris. We'd like to thank the city of St. Petersburg. We'd like to thank Bill Edwards for bringing everything to us here as a resident of St. Pete. And thank you very much for all being here.
Over the weekend, we hosted our pre-opening training dinners, in which guests made donations directly benefiting Southeastern Guide Dogs. It is with great pleasure that the team at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse is honored to present Southeastern Guide Dogs with a check for $10,000. everyone. Grab those forks and knives. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Yeah.
I'm Darden Rice, City Council member from District 4, and we are excited today to welcome Trader Joe's into the city of St. Pete and into my district. And we have worked so well with our city, with the transportation department, and working with the police and working with the neighborhood to have this be a very smooth opening. And we're just excited for more businesses to come to our city.
Well, we are the Trader Joe's bag ladies, and it's because we love Trader Joe's so much, and I moved here 5 years ago from San Francisco, and I have been writing to Trader Joe's every month for 5 years, begging them to open a store in St. Pete. So that's why we're here, to celebrate this opening.
And I'm with her.
We are so happy to be able to welcome Trader Joe's to this community. Clearly, based on the line and all the excitement about this store, we are so thrilled to have you guys here. And for those of you who have never been to Trader Joe's, you are in for a treat. It's so nice for us not to have to drive down to Sarasota to come get this great food that's got great prices. You guys are going to be blown away. This is a wonderful store. We're so happy to have you here, and we can't wait to cut this ribbon.
All right, we're gonna give Mayor Kreisman a countdown from 5, okay? Right. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So we're here at Trader Joe's. It's just opened this morning. We are so excited to have this store here in St. Petersburg. If you've never been to a Trader Joe's, what you're going to find is great food. It's organic, great prices. It's just a great addition to this city, and it's just another reason why the sun shines here on us in St. Petersburg.
Well, it's very exciting to be a part of this and to be able to open a new store in this area. There's been a lot of excitement by the community. Even when we're preparing the store, people coming in, asking about us when we're going to be open. So I'm really anticipating us really fitting in well into this community.
An event like this, it just lets everybody showcase what they do and, in one spot and show kind of what is throughout the city if you just take the time to walk around a little bit.
This is a place people want to be, with a great quality of life, with great small independently owned businesses, with a chance really for anyone that has an idea.
The city's been really supportive. I mean, we're an emerging company in new technologies, and they've been great to help us showcase it and help get the word out about what we're doing.
Because of our small businesses and the number of independently owned businesses we have here, we don't blend in, we're different.
The city treats my little tiny one-woman operation just as good as I think they must anybody else in the city. The mayor came to my store as part of the small business tour and came in and talked to me about our dealings with the city to see if there's anything that we need help with.
You walk down the street, there's so many different new exciting things going on that It just makes me proud to live here.